Good morning. Welcome to Angel Wallace Productions and God's Grace on Thee. Today's reading is from the Pre-Flight Instructions for the Phoenix, Volume 1, by Jesus Sananda, Lord Michael, and Saint Germain. Let us begin. Chapter 23, September the 19th, 1991. The Power of Unity. Greetings, my precious little sister Jathea. I am Sananda. You may refer to me as Jesus Christ, Isu, or Emmanuel. You are the children lost and found of our Father, whom we the hosts call Aton, the One of Light, and whom you may call God. I come in the service and glory of God, Aton, the one Creator, the mind cause of all creation. I am sent to reclaim his lambs who so desire to move closer through knowing within the I Am presence of the One. We of God's hosts are many who come to bring you the Word. We come from many dimensions, both seen and unseen by earth, physical, human. We come to show you the way out of the dark abyss of illusion of separation called physical, and into the glory and power of unity of purpose and desire. Unity, the state or fact of being one, something that is wholly united, complete within itself, a state or quality of mutual understanding and harmony, the harmonious agreement of parts or elements into one united whole. Can you attain this quality of mutual understanding and harmony on earth physical? Most certainly you can, and with much emphasis I say you must, in order to conquer your adversaries who plan to murder and or enslave you humans on earth. United we stand, divided we fall. Remember this statement? If not, I suggest you go find it and read it completely. You must understand how your adversaries have diligently worked to develop division among you, the people. There are so many separate factions of self-interested groups and organizations that you have now a nation or people who cannot agree on anything. And then individuals who could care less as long as their own needs are met. The war between the sexes. You have division between males and females, which in itself has nearly destroyed your species because of the disharmony and unbalance which disunited sexed pairs in creation will always cause. Many ones of you are plainly and simply confused about your own sex identity and how it relates to its equal and opposite sex mate pair. Homosexuality is not a natural, nor is it a balanced paired relationship when the physical sexual act is practiced. God did not create male sexed pairs in his divided thinking, nor did he create female sexed pairs in his divided thinking. He created by his knowing through his one desire of creation in motion, male, female, sexed pairs in all of his creation. My beloved brother Haton discusses much more thoroughly about the workings of sexed pairs, charge and discharge. In the Phoenix Journal, God said, "Let there be light." I strongly suggest that you carefully study it as well as the rest of the Pleiades Connection series. I quote therefrom, "All of the work of the universe is performed as a result of that desire in unbalanced matter to seek rest in a balanced condition. This is a sexed electric universe in every effect of motion, whether it be in the heart or a giant sun or in the petal of a meadow violet. Every action of motion in the universe is a result of sex desire for motion from a state of rest or for rest from a state of motion. Now these two sex desires of electric action and reaction are the result of the two desires of the Father to manifest His one light through the extended Father-Mother lights, which interweave His idea of creation into the multiple forms of that idea and void them periodically for the purpose of repeating them. The desire for two-way motion is equal action and reunion as reflected in the dual electric desire to give for regiving and to unfold for refolding. The point I am making is that the male-female pairs are equal opposites, charge and discharge. Without this division of thought by mind of Creator, there would be no creation. Creation is effect caused by the opposition of male-female mate pairs seeking balance, again, which only occurs when unity is achieved in God oneness. Until men and women completely understand and respect their differences and co-creative responsibilities as sex-paired equal opposites, your species will not create the balance it needs to survive physically and spiritually in harmony. Dominance and surrender. You cannot continue as you are in the roles of conqueror and conquered and succeed in achieving balanced co-creation with God. You cannot continue to have a war between the sexes, a war between races and creeds, and a war between cultures and religions and find peace, which only unity with the common, shared equally, purpose can bring. You must rise above the need to dominate and conquer or surrender and be conquered, for in this manner of existence, no balance will be found. When God is shut out by the harboring of feelings such as hatred, greed, and intolerance, your opportunity to receive God knowledge and power is quite diminished. God cannot re-give unto man who only takes from his creation and gives nothing back to God. For man who is dominated by his physical senses, who remains God unaware, feels like he is in quicksand, helpless and powerless to control his destiny. And so he is. Creating unity means establishing a common purpose and a common goal. So as a nation and a planet with two sexes, thousands of religious doctrines, and dozens of races, creeds, and cultures, how do you create unity? First, there must be created by each participating human the desire for unity, with unity representing a shared vision of equal giving and regiving in all transactions and relationships with one another. Only those with a well-defined shared vision can accomplish their objective. Next, you must define your objective. Let us say that your defined objective is total freedom from tyranny, dominance, and surrender existence, and global and individual inner peace, balance, and harmony. Now, how do you go about creating your above objective? First, you must locate the tools and talents you already possess. For example, the Republic of the United States still has the U.S. Constitution, and Bill of Rights, which were documents designed to prevent tyranny within the government and guarantee the individual the opportunity to pursue happiness. Your adversaries cannot conquer you completely until they do away with these documents and the freedoms guaranteed under them. Every human in this land called America, whether they be a Shi or a Christian, Buddhist, Judean, or atheist, or whether they may be Native Indian, white, Asian, Hispanic, or black person, will all reap the horrendous consequences of allowing the loss of the United States Constitution and Bill of Rights. You will become a nation of slaves, ruled by tyrants, and so too will the rest of your world become slaves. Secondly, you must all become knowledgeable about your freedoms granted under the Constitution, so that you have achieved unity of mind, understanding about what you must work to reclaim exactly. Thirdly, you must plan and agree upon a course of action, with each sharing responsibility for actions which work to achieve your shared objective, or reclaiming and preserving this, your Constitution of the United States. Fourthly, in order to truly be successful, there must be an understanding outlined in which all operate under high moral integrity, which of course involves a basic inner understanding and knowledge of the laws of God governing human. For if you seek to ruthlessly fight fire with fire in ways which defy balance, you will die by fire and gain nothing but sorrow, for your objective will be blown away as a feather in the wind. All are one. In order to achieve your first objective as a nation created under God, you must first desire unity between all peoples. In order to do this, you can no longer see yourselves as male versus female, Christian versus Buddhist, black versus white, Republican versus Democrat, for you are all related, and there is only one Creator. Only men and women who remain superstitiously attached to their ignorance of God truth and God knowledge will continue to develop intolerance and disunity and remain as tools of the adversary. It is your choice, my chelas. Can you give love to all your brethren as God does? Do you think your soul essence is more or less important to God? There is a saying, God is colorblind. I say, God created all illusions of color. Do you think that He cares one whit more or less about the color of your skin? He only cares about the real you, your soul essence, which is a part of Him, as He is a part of you. It is written in the so-called Holy Bible that I, Emmanuel Sananda, said, I and my Father are one. I ask that you meditate upon that statement in the light of Holy God's presence, and you will be given to know the meaning as it relates to you, if that truly be your soul desire. God's chosen people, God's chosen land. The term Israel is used frequently and erroneously in your so-called Holy Bible. And why do I say this? Because in your Bible, it refers to a specific race or so-called race of people. They call themselves Jews. Now, this term was created by your adversary in the 1700s. There actually exist two very different groupings under this title. They are Hebrew, Judeans, and Khazar Zionists. Most Hebrew Judeans believe in and worship God. Most Khazar Zionists are satanic atheists, as is often demonstrated by their amoral and evil actions and behaviors. This subject of the Khazars, Commander Hatton has outlined most comprehensively in several of the Phoenix journals, so I will not comment further, except to say this: God would never choose an entire race or human developed religion above another. For each individual soul growth is judged based upon the works he or she accomplishes, balanced or unbalanced. The term Israel, spelled with the I in lowercase, is the correct term meaning God's chosen. It does not signify a place of tyranny and corruption taken by force from another group of people, which is now called Israel, located in your Middle East. The Republic of the United States of America represents the true Israel because of the document which was created to have a government run for the people, by the people. No other country on your globe was given the opportunity for divine freedom and the pursuit of happiness, such as was outlined in your Constitution and Bill of Rights. Your country is a nation created under God, with many cultures, races, and religions experiencing and sharing these God-given opportunities together. You are also given responsibility for maintaining the checks and balances of your sovereignty. It was never designed to be taken for granted. Your forefathers knew the nature of their adversary who would enslave them. They warned you, the people, endlessly about the threats which were and would be made to the freedoms and instructions for government operation and state sovereignty which they outlaid. Have you listened? It is apparent that most of you have not even had an inkling of the evil tyranny perpetrated against you by your would-be enslavers. And the question remains, will you listen now and take the necessary action in behalf of yourselves and your country? The keys to creating unity, love, knowledge, respect, tolerance, and charity. Love. This I define as absolute, unconditional God love, equal giving and re-giving for human, higher, universal man. It is the required component of co-creation with God. Love one another as God loves you all. This has nothing whatsoever to do with the sexual act. And when you manifest God love giving and re-giving, you will create balanced transactions. Knowledge. This I defined as God knowledge and a subheading called Human Circumstance Knowledge. God knowledge. Desire is the key. The desire to know and serve God who dwells within you. Learn to listen to his whispers and shouts. Your success can be measured according to the level and intensity of your desire. The call compels the answer, so know your desires. They are felt as soul awareness, and you ones may refer to it as my heart says this, or my intuition is telling me that, or my conscience tells me this is wrong. Tune in Seek to know the why cause. Then you must wait upon God to reveal it to you. It is best not to have preconceptions about where and how the answers will come. Know they will come and be ready to receive them. Human circumstance knowledge. There is much information you must have in order to conduct and plan your service to God and country. For example, you must know who your adversaries are and what they plan and plot in order to control, enslave, and destroy you. Besides this source, the Phoenix Journals and Express, you can find truth from a few other brave souls whom we have mentioned in earlier works. We bring truth which you can validate if you so choose. Each of you will need to become investigators on your own in your areas of interest to verify that which we give. Some information will be difficult, but not impossible, to verify. Also, you must measure information you receive within the presence of God's light, so that you will know instantly what the appropriate next step must be. If, for example, there is a probability of an earthquake near your home, you must make necessary decisions of preparation as you are guided to do so within. Respect. I will explain what I explicitly mean by this term. To have high regard for and appreciation of worth, and also to honor each being, creature, and creation as the equal fragment or portion of God's divided thinking, which has been created from the still light of His knowing. To create unity, you individuals must respect and honor your differences, as long as your differences do not defy the laws of God and creation. Does this mean you will always agree or do things in the same way or see things from the same point of perception? Certainly not, until of course you attain spiritual perfection and become one with God in your knowing. Remember this: your deepest and most profound spiritual challenges come from your interactions with your fellow brethren on physical earth incarnations. Tolerance. As with respect, you must exercise tolerance when you encounter differences in regard to how another thinks, perceives, looks, responds, and behaves. That is, as long as their behavior does not defy God's laws or infringe upon your freedom of development or your so creative potential. In no manner do I use this term to imply blind tolerance, to allow all to do and say whatever they choose and call it freedom of expression, or as so often referred to, rights, which blatantly disregards the laws of God. Also, never must you sanction behavior which is evil when you know it to be evil. Either must you turn your back on your adversary, face evil within God's presence, and evil will cower and fall away, unless you turn the other cheek and allow evil to intimidate you. It will, if you allow it. Can you force another to not defy God's laws? No. You can, however, encourage them to not do something and explain why you do not sanction their choice or behavior. Ultimately, they will do what they will do. And unless they attempt to do something against you or your family, you cannot use force to stop them. For example, from having an abortion, which is murder. Charity. What I mean by charity is sharing brotherly love, giving and sharing goodwill with your brethren, generosity given to the deserving by allowing God within to measure and judge how and to whom He will re-give. doing unto others as you would have them do unto you. Treat the sick and poor and spiritually ignorant people with dignity, generosity, and patience, and compassion, that they may feel worthy and are given an example of how to, perhaps, create the desire to move their awareness beyond their suffering and neediness. Always be generous with the light which you carry to assist another. You see, my precious chelas, generosity often really has little to do with money or physical things, although sharing with others and giving food and or items when needed is most commendable when it is truly done for love and not obligation, social recognition, or expectation. All you need ever do is ask our Father who dwells within you, what is the highest and best response to this situation? Or, please show me the right and balanced response to this circumstance. Not my will, Father, let thine will be done. In this way can you raise your spiritual character to the heights of some 8,000 years past, when in Egypt, for a time, the Egyptians lived with the highest moral character of your recent civilization, and put their fellow men and women before self, with a desire to love and to be loved in all their inner changes. My beloved brother, Walter Russell, wrote of this way of life, as has Germain in the recent Pleiades Connection series. We call it rhythmic balanced interchange. So be it. I will close this document. Thank you, Dorothea, for your service. You have done well this day. Be at peace, Chela, for I am always with thee. I am Sananda, one with God. Walk gently with one another in peace and love. Salut. Chapter 24, September 23rd, 1991. Lessons, lessons, and more lessons. Greetings, precious Dorothea. I am Jesus, Isu Emmanuel, now called Sananda. I come in service to our holy divine creator, Aton. Thank you, precious, for sharing your thoughts and feelings with your brethren who work within this small circle to bring forth the word. No, it is not easy to open self and bear all inside for others to see. And many other ones here within your circle also have extreme difficulty with this type of expression sharing. Perhaps your sharing will allow it to be easier for the thoughtful, silent ones to come forth and share as well. These interactions which are participants within are your lessons. Do you see, chelas? The lessons never end, until, of course, we return to oneness with God and no longer express as individual fragments in perceived separation. Thank you for recognizing we of the hosts of God in your thoughts, precious, for in this recognition and honor which you give us, you also must be honored for taking your medicine so graciously. Simply behold the growth and knowledge you have garnered now, which nothing can take from you. You've climbed one more mountain in your road to self-discovery, which leads you on to God-knowing. You cannot do all and be all for everyone. And isn't it a relief to finally acknowledge that you ones need each other to accomplish our goal to get the word of truth to humankind on earth shone? Do you recognize that we of God hosts need you as well? That if you once fall, it is our failure as well. This does not mean that your job cannot be replaced, simply that time is running out for your brethren, and each of you is so precious. We too cannot bear to lose any of you ones who are among God's finest servants and projections for his task. And yet you each have free will, and we cannot interfere with your choices made. Hold it close to chelas. The value of your service is so immense that you must always see the wholeness of the picture, to complete this job in honor. Please do not lose sight of our shared goal and commitment to God, our Father. It is most easy in your humanness to forget why you are here and how valuable is your contribution, however small it may seem to you. The adversary enjoys nothing more than to cause you ones to bicker and resent one another. Remember that the next time you begin to harbor anger or resentment for some real or perceived attack or miscommunication by another in your cycle. Some of you are just waiting to be victimized, often completely misperceiving the intent of another or others. Please, do not hold these hurt feelings, and at the same time, give each other the benefit of the doubt and calmly ask them to explain what they mean by whatever it is they said or did to offend you. Effective communication does take tremendous work in your illusion simply because you can speak one thing and mean something entirely different. Whereas God's universal language of light does not leave room for misinterpretation or miscommunication. It comes directly from soul conscious level, or as you may know it, the heart. But on this dimension, one of your lessons as human is knowing what it is in your heart place and then being able to communicate it accurately and effectively. That is one reason why illuminates of your past have said, "Know thyself." For it is easy to lie to self, and it truly takes the desire and courage to really be honest with self in order to come into knowledge and understanding. I must relieve Druthea to rest. Be at peace, precious. The lessons and testing seem to be worse for you, but remember, God never gives more burden than any can handle, and He will carry you if need be. Each one of you feels inadequate at times. This too is a lesson. I love you greatly, precious Chelas. Druthea, thank you for your service, for though you know it not, you truly are a gift of God. So be it. I am Sananda, one with God. Walk in the love and peace of friendship, and God will show you the way. Salut.